It's in front of the shul?
It's kind of showing.
In front of the beach?
Yeah.
Let's go search.
I don't know. All right, let's get started. I want to welcome everyone to Ironside Lunch and Learn. As we continue our weekly Parashat Sharone lessons, I want to give an honorable mention to our gracious hosts. We have Judah Mendel and Ofer Mizrahi that have been supporting this class and giving us the use of their space every week. Also want to give an honorable mention to our great sponsor, Hummus Factory, for giving us this delicious food on a weekly basis. As Hashem, they have a lot of success in their new location in Boca. I want to give also an honorable mention to the people that stopped there middle of the day and came over here to learn with us. Hashem Vayishlach Sharone Lankry. And I also want to do this class for an Elui Nishmat for several people that lost their loved ones. B'ezrat Hashem, this class will be to the Elui Nishmat of Fortuna Bat Esther, Shulamit Bat Rina, and Yosef ben Hasiba. This week's parasha is Parashat Vayishlach. Parashat Vayishlach talks about Yaakov sending angels to his brother Esav to letting him know, I'm coming. I'm coming to see you. And I know you want to kill me. And I know that you want to, you have this 22-year-old grudge for me. And he had this whole plan, how he split up his camp into two, how he sent all these gifts ahead of him before he had the ultimate meeting with Esav. But before that, there's a conversation that Yaakov has with a Kadosh Baruch Hu, and the conversation basically is asking for, I'll read some of it in Pasuk Yud. It says, Vayomer Yaakov Elohei Avi Avraham Ve'Avi Yitzchak Hashem Haomer Ela Shuv Le'atzecha V'atecha Ve'etiv Imach. You're the one that told me, go back to your land, go back to your to where you came from, and you will do all the good promises that you promised me. And Pasuk Yud Aleph is the beginning of our lesson. It says, Katonti mikol hachasadim u'mikol ha'emet asher asita et avdecha. He says, I have so many there's so many good things that you did for me throughout the years. I don't know if I have any credit to get all these blessings. And then he says, mikol ha'emet, from all the truth, asher asita et avdecha, that you made me your servant. That's the literal translation. However, it's also all the just, all the righteous things that you did with me as I am your servant. But in Hebrew it says, Mikol ha'emet asher asita tavdecha. And the question goes, how can you make a person truth? How can you make a person emet? How can Yaakov Avinu become truth? So that's the center of our lesson today. In order to understand truth, we have to go back to the beginning. You should know that the signature of a Kadosh Baruch Hu, it says he has a ring. And on this ring, it says Emet. Aleph Mem Taf. By the way, in Rosh Hashanah and Kippur, when he seals our faith, you know what he seals it with? The Emet ring. By the way, why is it called Emet? Why is Emet Emet? Because Emet is when you have the truth from the beginning to the middle to the end. Emet, look, Aleph is the first letter. Mem is right in the middle. And Tav is the last letter. Emet means something that has to be true in the beginning, it has to be true in the middle, it has to be true in the end. That's why it's called the word Emet. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu signs everybody's faith with the signature of Emet. As a matter of fact, if we go all the way to Genesis, to Bereshit in the beginning, the word Emet is found about 6 or 7 different times in the time of creation. So, for example, it says Bereshit, bara Elokim et. So here, follow with me. Bara, the last letter is Aleph. Elokim, the last letter is Mem. Et, the last letter is Taf, Aleph Mem Taf, Emet. And we see in many different places where it says, Vayivra Elohim Et. Again, Aleph, Mem, Taf are the last letters. So every time he was creating something, Kadosh Baruch Hu put the signature of Emet on it during the time of Bereshit. However, when it came to Adam HaRishon, we know that Kadosh Baruch Hu did something very unique. He said, the time of Adam HaRishon, he asked the angels, he said, let us create man. He conferred with the angels. Why? So we explained it. Not because Kadosh Baruch Hu needs their permission. Rashi brings over there that he did it out of Derech Eretz. But we know that every single thing in this world has an angel. The trees have an angel, the ocean has an angel, human beings have angels, animals have angels, the stars have angels, all of creations have angels. And at that time, at the culmination of creation, God asked all the angels that were around him, because remember, he created the cosmos, he created the oceans, he created the animals, he created all these different things, and he says, let us create man. In other words, every single angel would give one piece of themselves and put it into the creation of man. That's what they say, a person has a whole world within him. We have a tiger inside of us. We have the ocean inside of us. We have the stars inside of us. We have the strength for everything. The entire world, entire cosmos, the entire creation is inside man. Because every single part of creation gave a little piece of themselves within us. And each person shows a little bit more of one and a little bit less of the other. Some people you can see that they're lions. Some people you can see that they're little rabbits. Some people you can see that they resemble some sort of part of creation. So, on the sixth day, when Hashem asked the angels to create man, the Midrash says that the Kadosh Baruch Hu came to Shalom, Emet, Chesed, and Tzedakah, and asked them if we should create man. Shalom, peace, said no, do not create man. Emet, truth, said no, do not create man. Peace and truth voted against the creation of man. Chesed and tzedakah, kindness and charity, voted in favor, yes. So what did HaKadosh Baruch Hu do? He threw Emet to the earth. He threw her down from the heavens down to the earth and created man. So we see that man was created without Emet, without truth. Just a side question, why didn't Hashem throw Shalom down to the voted not in favor of creation of Adam?
Because he also said no.
No. The answer that was given, which by the way was a beautiful class that I heard from Rabbi Rosenblum, he said, because no real peace is truthful. No real peace is truthful. All these people that do these peace treaties, just a front. They all have like these hidden agendas behind them. So we see that when the first man got created, what is the first thing that happened over there? He lied. There was no emet involved. Adam HaRishon lied. He lied to his wife. The snake lied to him. And because he lied to him, ever since then, lies have become a part of our lives. And from this lie came the concept of death into this world. The only reason why we suffer death after 120 years is because Chava and Adam HaRishon, with their original sin in Gan Eden, brought death onto this world. Otherwise, we're supposed to live forever. As a matter of fact, anyone who speaks emet and only emet does live forever. Anyone who speaks truth his entire life never dies. If you take the word emet, and you remove, you have to understand that HaKadosh Baruch Hu clings to people that speak the truth. He clings on to them. Because God is emet. Don't forget, his stamp is emet. Aleph stands for Alufo Shel Olam. That means for the creator of the world. Aleph also, the way you write in Aleph, is a Vav, a Yud, and a Yud. That's how you write in Aleph. Yud and a Yud is 20, Vav is 6, altogether 26. The Aleph corresponds to God. So when you are not speaking Emet, what happened? That Aleph leaves you. And what stays? Met, death.
Wow.
A person that has God and truth lives forever. A person who lies, the Aleph leaves him, and then what takes over? Met, death. Now, the word Emet, out of the three patriarchs, Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, there's one patriarch, one Av, that got the gift of Emet. We know that Avraham got the Chesed. As the Pasuk says, Chesed Avraham. Yitzchak, we know, was Olat Temimah, was a holy sacrifice to Kadosh Baruch Hu. And Yaakov, Emet. Yaakov got the label, got the tag of truth, man of truth. Yet, as we see in these past few parashiyot, there's something that is very interesting, is that his whole life he's surrounded by lies. The man of truth is surrounded by lies and crooks. Liars and crooks. His entire surroundings, and not only that, his entire interaction all day, every day, is with liars and crooks. It started with Esav, who was a wicked man, his own brother, and he had to live with him, and later on run away from him because he wanted to kill him. Later on, his father-in-law, for 20 years, he was with his father-in-law, which was Lavan Harami. They say Lavan Haramai, the biggest crook in the world. He was connected to the snake. They said, the Gemara brings that he was even either Bilam, or his son was Bilam, or he was the Gilgul of Bilam. You could just imagine. And this entire time, a man of truth could have totally removed himself and said, listen, I'm a man of truth. I'm going to go into that forest, me, my wives, and my children, we're going to start a little colony of truth. He didn't do that. He stayed in the middle of his challenges, and he withstood the test of being around crooks, of being around people that hate him, being around people that are talking lies all day long, even though he's a man of truth. As a matter of fact, not only did he have to deal with Esav and Lavan, he had to live with a very strong lie for 22 years. His own children lied to him that Yosef was dead. That's not true. And he had to live for 22 years with that lie, and he didn't accept it. The man of truth could not accept that lie. Most people, after somebody passes, after 12 months, the heart begins to forget. The Gemara brings that. Yaakov lived with the fact that his son is dead, but knowing that he's not for 22 years on a daily basis. Living with a lie. What a challenge, if you think about it, for Yaakov Avinu. What a challenge. Did he really enjoy a life of truth? Or was he just surrounded his entire life with lies? In last week's parasha, we spoke about Yaakov passing by Jerusalem, passing by Har HaBayit, and he almost passed right over it. And when he got there, we have the whole story, how he slept on the stones, the 12 stones turned into one rock, the ladder of the angels going up and down. And it says over there, he has a very interesting pasuk, I'll read it to you. Vayira vayomar, ma nora hamakom hazeh. He says, what an awesome and great place this is. And zeh bet Elohim. This is the house of God. V'zeh shar hashamayim, and this is the portal to the heavens. Where was that place? Well, that place is Yerushalayim. It says over there, Pasuk Yuted, Vayikrat Shema Makom Ahu Bet El. At that time, he called it Bet El. Yaakov renames that spot Bet El. And before that, the name of it, Ve'ulam Luz Shem Ha'ir L'Rishona. But before that, the name of the place was Luz. So let's do a little bit of a history lesson. Yerushalayim has several names. The name Yerushalayim that we know is a combination of two words, Yireh and Shalem. So a few parashiot ago, when we're talking about Akedat Yitzchak, when Avraham Avinu was there slaughtering, doing the Akedah, what did he say? He says, "Vayikra Avraham Shem Makom Ahu Adonai Yireh Asher Yameh Hayom Be'ar Adonai Yireh." So he called the place Yireh. That's what Avraham called this place. Then later on, we see that Avraham went and met up with Malki Tzedek, which we said was Shem, the son of Noah. And Malki Tzedek called that city Shalem. So we have Yireh Shalem, which sounds like Yerushalem. Yireh Shalem, but it's not. But one was called Yireh, the other was called Shalem. In this week's parasha, we see that Yaakov calls it Bet El, the house of God, but before it was called Luz. So we have 4 names for Jerusalem right now. And you should know that in the Torah, not in the whole Tanakh, just in the Chamisha Chumshei Torah, there are 5 names to Jerusalem. Let's do them. Yireh, Shalem, Bet El, Luz. What's the 5th one? The 5th one, Yireh is 1. Shalem is 2. Because the Shalem is what Malki Tzedek called it. Yireh is what Avraham called it. Then we have Bet El, and then we have Luz. But how the last one is Malki Tzedek. He is the king of Tzedek, which means Yerushalayim was also had the name of Tzedek. So those are the 5 names: Yireh, Shalem, Bet El, Luz, Tzedek. Those are the 5 different names of Yerushalayim in the Chumash. Now, why would they call this place Luz? Why did Yerushalayim have this name of Luz? So, in order to understand this, you have to know that there's another word that is called Luz that means something else. It's the Luz bone. We have a bone right here in the back of our neck. It's the top vertebrae that we call the Luz bone. What is it? If you guys ever do Havdalah, that's the bone that we take a little bit of the Y and we put it over there. Why? That's the bone that you are going to get reconstructed from in the time of B'tchiyat HaMetim, the reincarnation of the dead, the resurrection of the dead, It's all going to come from that bone. And as a matter of fact, that bone, the only sustenance that it gets every single week is from 1 meal. 1 meal a week gives that bone food. And that's Seudat Menave Malka. On Shabbat, after Shabbat is out, you have a 4th Seudah. That's Seudat Menave Malka. Most people sit down and have a whole feast with bread and food or some sort of mezonot. Whatever you eat on that meal, that's what feeds that bone. And that's the bone that every single person is going to get resurrected from in the time of Tchiyat HaMetim when Mashiach comes. So that means your grandmother, your great-grandmother, your ancestors, all the way down to Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov that are in the grave, eventually are going to come and get resurrected from what? From that tiny piece. And you know what the rabbis tell us about this tiny piece? You can't destroy it. You cannot destroy this piece of bone. You can't crush it, you can't hammer it, you can't grind it, you can't burn it. As a matter of fact, a little study has been made on some of the ashes that they found in the Holocaust. They said that they started to pick up dust, and the dust had DNA in it. And they said, how could it be? They burned to a crisp. You know what they're picking up? The ashes of the Luz.
But it's crumbled up.
Not crumbled up, it's just very, very tiny. It's just very, very tiny. You can't do anything to it. You can't destroy it. That's the Luz bone. So why would the city be called Luz? Well, it has to do with the stone that Yaakov Avinu was sleeping on. There's a stone called Even Ashtiya. Even Ashtiya, in the time of creation, the first piece of stone that the world got created from is Even Ashtiya. And from there, all the world got created. And this Even Ashtiya, where is it located? It's located in Jerusalem. It's located where Bet HaMikdash is. It's located where, welcome. It's located under Kodesh HaKodeshim. Right under there's a special stone. It's called Even Ashtiya. And that is the belly button of the world. That's where all the world got created from that particular space. So, Zera Shimshon brings, by the way of Pirkei Rabbi Eliezer, it says that when Yaakov Avinu came that night and he slept on that stone, it says that Kadosh Baruch Hu took his foot and smashed that stone down into the ground, and that is Even Haluz. Now, why would Kadosh Baruch Hu wait till Yaakov went over there? It says because it was hanging loosely until Yaakov, Ish Emet, the man of truth, was there, and he put it into the ground as if to cement that this is the cornerstone of Yerushalayim. That this is going to be the Even Apina. You know, every time when you build buildings, there's a cornerstone. This Even Ashtiya was the cornerstone of Yerushalayim. Now the question is, why would it be until Yaakov gets there? It's because Luz, the Gemara tells us, and also the Zohar, was a very special city. It's a city that nobody ever dies over there. Why? Because nobody ever lied. Luz was a city of truth and eternal life. The Yetzer Hara, the angel of death, had all the rights to go all over the world and to take away lives and to kill people or to take people's lives away. But when he came to this city, he had no entry pass. He's not allowed to enter Luz, and he's not allowed to kill anyone within that city. So the people lived over there for years and years and years. They became very, very old. Why? Because in order to live in that city, you have to speak truth and only truth. And what we said about people that speak emet, they live forever. But if you take away the emet, what happens? When Hashem leaves, that Aleph leaves, what do you have? Met. So every once in a while, when the people that lived in that city would have to go for whatever reason to leave Luz, whether it's to, maybe they had an aunt and uncle that got married in a different city. Over there, as soon as they come out, the Yitzhak catches them and kills them out there. But as long as they're inside, they couldn't. So Luz, the reason why it's the city of truth, because it started with the cornerstone of Ish Emet, Yaakov Avinu. Listen to this. There's many tales of the city of Shangri-La. You know, it's like the city where people live forever. In our text, it's Luz. What we say Luz is? Yerushalayim. Yerushalayim is still around today. So how come people are not alive forever in Yerushalayim? I'm sure that there's people that speak truth all day long, and there's such big tzaddikim, they don't say any lie at all. How could it be? You know, there's a famous story even with Shlomo HaMelech. He had two kushim, two sofrim, two people that worked for him that were authors, and he wanted to save their life. And how did he save their life? He told them, go straight to the city of Luz over there. You can stay safe. But what happened was the Yetzer Hara stood right by the door front of the city of Luz and they ended up getting killed before they went in. But the city of Luz, the city that we're talking about, is the Jerusalem of today. How come we don't have people that are living forever? So you have to understand that Yaakov Avinu was the real Ish Emet. That's a real Ish Emet. What's a real Ish Emet? Meaning everything that he did was truth. It says in the parasha we start, we say, Et kol ha'emet asher asita im avdecha. Et kol ha'emet asher asita im avdecha. You made him truth. Do you ever sing the song, Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu Chai, Od Avinu, Od Avinu, Od Avinu Chai? Who is that? Which Av are we talking about that is still alive? Who's Od Avinu Chai? It's Yaakov. Why? A person who doesn't lie never dies. Yaakov Avinu Adayin Chai. He's still alive. Why? He's always been all truth. Now, what did Yaakov leave behind? It says, Yaakov Yoshev Ohalim. Emet, there's a pasuk that says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave Yaakov Emet. What's Emet? It's the truth. If you take, what's the truth? The truth is the Torah. If you take Yaakov's name, Yud stands for Aseret HaDibrot, the 10 Commandments. Ekev, the numerical value is 172. That's how many words are in the 10 Commandments. Yaakov's name is the 10 Commandments and the 172 words that make up the 10 Commandments. He gave the Torah to Yaakov. He gave the Emet to Yaakov. And that got transferred down to where? To his children. Where? In the Torah. We have the secret to live forever. It's as simple as speaking the truth like Yaakov Avinu. Since we know that no one around us is living forever, just goes to show you what a dirdush or a dorot we have. A degradation or deterioration, of the generations. Since we don't have that reality of anybody living alive just because they're speaking the truth. Yaakov Avinu dealt with Esav, a wicked brother. He dealt with the whole beracha. He dealt with the Ramai, the crook, Lavan. And we see that many different places we could have changed our opinion about Yaakov. Oh, he tricked his brother. He tricked his brother. He put the clothing on him. He tricked his father. Oh, he didn't deal properly with his with this or with that. There's so many different opinions that we can say because the Torah says it. Lavan says, "Ganafta et libi." It says, "Ganafta et bnotai." You stole my kids. You stole my heart. He's using words, harsh words against Yaakov Avinu. But yet, who comes and testifies that Yaakov is 100% honest, 100% truth? God Himself. Vayiten emet Yaakov. He gave him the stamp of truth and honesty and emet to Yaakov. Now, we know that every single patriarch we have something to learn from. What can we learn from Yaakov? We see that he is a man that is standing or representing truth, and his entire life he's dealing with what? Crooks and liars. What's the common thing that most people do? It's either you flee or fight, right? It's either you run away from a problem or you stand your ground and you deal with it. Yaakov, like we said, when it was with Esav, could have just said, you know what, I'm going to go on to the other side of the planet. You take this half, I take this half, leave me alone. With Lavan, he could have said, you know what, Lavan, I don't want to work with you. I don't want your kids. I don't want nothing. Leave me alone. I'll go work and give me a little patch in the forest. I'll live over there. I'll start a new commune of just truth believers. He could have done so many different things. What did he do? He stayed there for as much as was needed. Why? Because Esav is who, the Rasha is who made Yaakov HaTzadik. Because he was such a crook and he was able to still be righteous next to him, he needed him to make him that. Yaakov needed Esav in order to become the tzaddik that he is. When he was with Lavan, he needed Lavan to be such an unbelievable crook, so like that he can be such an unbelievably righteous person. In other words, every time he tried to cheat him, he didn't cheat him like he did. He said, I'll still be honest. You cheat me 100 times, I'll be honest 100 times. Meaning he used it as what? As something to work off of. Challenge me so I can pass. Challenge me so I can pass. you see that in life, you're going to find yourself in environments that are not welcoming. Environments that are negating your entire personality, who you are, what you stand for, your religion, your morals, your mores. What do? Do you run away and say, let them be like this, and I'll just go crawl under a hole and have my own like loner mentality, like a lone wolf? Yaakov Avinu is telling you, no, stay there. It's going to form you to be the person that you are. Work with the crooks. Show them how you're going to be a tzaddik. Work with the liar. Show them how you can be honest. And that's what he did. And that's what he showed us. As Jews, we don't run away. There's no need to run away. Everybody around you can be lying and cheating and doing everything else to make their dollar, and we're going to do it the honest way right in front of them. You get challenged with somebody who's completely the opposite of you, don't hate him. Work around him. He's going to give you a chance to live out the Jewish life. Be'ezrat Hashem, that we'll have this emet in our life, that we'll have this truth in our life, that we cling onto emet, regardless of the surrounding, whether it's surrounding of friends, surrounding of society, surroundings of people, whether it's on the news, whether it's in the newspapers, whether it's in our neighborhood, whether it's even between the friends that are around us that are keeping, not keeping, religious, not religious, it doesn't matter. There's always exterior forces always challenging you. You have to hold on to your emet. And what is your emet? It's the emet that your great-great-great-great-great-grandfather gave it to you. The emet of Yaakov Avinu. Be'ezrat Hashem, Shabbat Shalom, Hashem v'ayich otchem, Sameach otchem.